went 6 2/3, gave up only 3 hits, struck out 7 batters. But there's a lot more to this Marlins team than just that player. How about the guy who pitched yesterday? Elieser Hernandez. Write that name down. Elieser Hernandez. Yesterday he pitched against a pretty staunch Braves lineup. And he went 5 innings, giving up only 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. Let me repeat that. 5 innings, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Elieser Hernandez throws a really hard fastball. He's got a good change of pace, pitching really well. This Marlins team, look, that ain't the only one. I want to talk about Pablo Lopez for a moment. Lopez is 2-1 on the season, 19 strikeouts, a 2.25 ERA. Against the same Braves over the weekend, Lopez goes 6 innings, gives up 2 earned runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. So what you've got going on in Miami right now are some young stud pitchers who throw hard, who strike out batters, and when you're missing bats, you're in the game, and they're doing it without probably, arguably, their best 2 pitchers, that being Alcantara and the other being Caleb Smith. Now, I'm not sure about a return date for Smith yet, but can you imagine these same Marlins with those 2 pitchers back on the team? Kinsler at the back end of that bullpen is not a bad option. Let's talk about some more players. How about Clint Frazier and what he's doing for the New York Yankees? I mean, Frazier sort of banished to oblivion, right? And then he comes on, getting finally the opportunity, and oh my, has he taken advantage of that opportunity like crazy. Let's look at some numbers for Mr. Frazier for just a moment. So, last night, probably his worst game. He's hitting .533 since the call-up, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. Last night went 1 for 4, but in the 4 games he's played since the call-up, since the injury to Aaron Judge, he has had 15 at-bats, and he has had 8 hits. 8 for 15, a hit in every game. A couple of games where he had 3 hits. The other 2 games he had 1 hit each. So the question is, in fantasy, how much stock do you put in Clint Frazier? Another player on the Yankees who has really benefited from the misfortune to Stanton, the misfortune to Judge, is Mike Tauchman. Are you a Tauchman believer? Over the weekend so far against Boston, he has gone 6 for 12, 500 average, 4 RBIs. On the year, he also has 4 stolen bases. On the year, he's hitting .357. Phil Chaplin just posted, Frazier is a poor man's Stanton. I'm wondering, is Stanton a rich man's Frazier? I mean, at least, I feel like some of these guys go on the field and it's a glass house. Frazier seems to be durable. Now he's getting the opportunity. Tauchman getting the opportunity. Judge a little upset that he wasn't able to play over the weekend. Judge said, I feel great. But Frazier has really produced. He's got more power, obviously, than Tauchman. Tauchman more of a contact hitter. I want to talk about 2 rookies who came up over the weekend. How do you rate Alec Baum? How do you rate Dylan Carlson? It appears that both Baum and Carlson will be getting regular at-bats for the Phillies and Cardinals, respectively. Now, I like Baum. 3rd overall pick in the 2018 draft. The only thing that concerns me about Baum is not playing time, but 2 things. I wonder how much average he'll hit for. But even more importantly than that, where he hits in the Philly order. Now, he'll probably get a day off every now and then, as everyone does. But I really like the opportunity that the Phillies are giving Alec Bohm. Got some good power, a good hit tool, doesn't strike out a lot. And then there's Dylan Carlson. Now, Carlson, a top 20 MLB prospect anyway, called up now with St. Louis playing basically every day. Every day. Dylan Carlson has all 5 tools. How much value do you put on a Dylan Carlson for the rest of this season in fantasy? First of all, he batted 6th in his first game. I look for Carlson as time goes on to move up in the Cardinal batting order. The Cardinals have been a different team, it looks like. They had all that time off, and hey, they're winning. They're going to play the Cubs this week. 2 doubleheaders. One today, one on Wednesday. Carlson's going to get at bats. Consistent at bats. Power, average, speed. I just think that the opportunity he's going to be given in the situation he's in, I believe Carlson will be a producer. Now, Chaplin just put something about Tyler O'Neill. My concern with Tyler O'Neill has been batting average, bat to ball. He's a masher, no doubt about it. But I think Carlson and O'Neill coexist, Chaplin. I think Carlson and O'Neill play at the same time, Chaplin. I think they complement each other. I think one helps the other. I think you're going to see better numbers from O'Neill with Carlson there and better numbers from Carlson with O'Neill there. We shall see. And you also posted, Chappie, food for thought, Frazier is Austin Meadows. Wow. But you know, there are a lot of similarities. Maybe there Austin Meadows steals a few more bags, right? But quick bats. I mean, check out the bat speed that Frazier brings to the plate. Similar, if you will, to Meadows. And I just think that what he brings to that Yankee lineup is an infusion of energy, but most importantly, an infusion of great talent. You can bring all the energy in the world, but if you aren't a good player, then what good is it? I want to stay on those Cardinals for a minute because I think in fantasy, if you can add Cardinals the rest of the regular season, that's a brilliant thing to do because they play so many games. Look, they've got to make up. They only played 5 games before Saturday. Only 5. So now we have to look at the games they have. If they're going to get in 55 games, I doubt they do. But they've got to get in their games now 52 now, between now and the end of September. And it's August the 17th. So we got 13 days left in August, 30 days in September. So you got to get over 50 games in 43 days. So let's take a look at some of these Cardinal players who probably have underperformed a little bit, could be a great fantasy value as we head towards the playoffs. And not even to mention Adam Wainwright, where if you didn't see him on Saturday, looked incredible. And with 7-inning doubleheaders, you pitch 5 innings, you only have a bullpen for 2. I mean, his curveball looked electric. He was spotting it. I just think Wainwright's a great pitcher to have. All right. Let's look at some of these bats. We've already talked about Carlson. Touched on O'Neill a little bit. Tyler O'Neill hitting .240, 3 homers, 6 RBIs. Now remember, he's only played 8 games and has 3 homers. He went 1 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader on Saturday, 2 for 4 in the second game, and hit a home run. Went 0 for 3 yesterday. But that makes O'Neill 3 for 10 since starting back. He has an impressive barrel rate. I'll save that. I won't get into that too much, Chappie. Incredible power. And he's available in ESPN leagues, he's only owned in 10% of ESPN leagues. 10%. How about some more players on the Cardinals? How about Colton Wong? He's going to play every day. I know he's only hitting 192 right now. But he's going to steal some bases. He's got a little pop in that bat. Available in a lot of leagues. And then Tommy Edman. Not off to a great start after the break. Only 1 for 10 over the weekend. He did score 3 runs. He is eligible at probably 3 positions now because he's going to play shortstop, third base, second base. A great bat to baller. A great speed on the bases. A little bit of pop. I think you look strongly at adding these Cardinals to your fantasy team going forward. And if you're in a daily or a weekly league, look at who they're playing. Okay, so this week, the Cardinals have 2 doubleheaders with the Cubs. So why not go and pick up some Cubs too? Opportunity. I'm big on opportunity in fantasy. You know that. Let's take a look at some of these little bears. One player that I've picked up on some of my fantasy teams, and I've talked about him. I've heard my friend Phil Chapman talk about him. Mr. Happ. Now, Happ is an interesting player in that I like to see what coaching staff and managers say about him. Okay? Ian Happ, it's been made very clear by his manager, is the center fielder for the Chicago Cubs. I do know this too. He's hitting .310, 10 runs scored, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and a stolen base. Hits in 3 of his last 4 games, 5 hits in the last 4 games, 4 RBIs, only owned in ESPN leagues in 41% of the leagues. Look, that to me is as ridiculous a number as I've seen. Ian Happ needs to be owned in every league. I don't care if you're a mixed league. I don't care if you're 8-team, 10-team, 15-team. Ian Happ is a bat that will hit. And he needs to be owned in every league. Now, I want to ask you this question. On the other side of that pendulum, how concerned are you that Chris Bryant is only hitting 182, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs? He was moved to that leadoff spot, and frankly, it's not a good fit. When do you think Bryant gets moved back to the 2 or 3 hole in that lineup? And who would be a good candidate to then lead off? I will proffer to you. Let's put Ian Happ in that leadoff spot. Had a little bit of water under the bridge now. He's gotten used to his environment. He's been successful. Putting him in the leadoff is not going to blow his mind or blow his world. Drop Bryant to 3. Put Rizzo second. And watch the Cubs drop. Watch them just blow everything up. And you got to remember this too. Javi Baez, the perennial all-star, is hitting .203. Baez is 0 for his last 15 and didn't start yesterday. I'm a believer in Baez. I think it's a bad start. But Baez will come around. And here's the thing about the Cubs. Even with Bryant and Baez,